We would now like to welcome Brazilian educator, theorist and activist Dr. Paulo Freire. Let's give him a round of applause, shall we? You look good for being dead 13 years. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. It's nice to get out every once in a while.
Dr. Freire, I understand you published your book Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Can you give me a bit of an overview?
Well, Jim, my book is about the educational system that is presently active worldwide today, and the problems I believe that system imposes on the general masses, or the oppressed.
That all sounds very interesting. Would you mind just putting your book into simpler terms for us common folk? Define pedagogy and maybe explain whom you mean by the oppressed. Who is the oppressor?
Okay, let's see if I can explain this. Pedagogy is the art and science of teaching. This includes teaching methods, principles and styles used for instruction. You can think of pedagogy as how to teach, instead of what to teach. So now we have to understand that this system of pedagogy we live in is oppressing our youth and impeding our future progression. Today education is for the rich and powerful, controlled by the rich and powerful. Ultimately they are the ones who are telling us what to learn and how to learn it. They control every aspect of education, the pedagogy and the curriculum. Many political and educational plans have failed because their authors designed them according to their own personal views of reality, never once taking into account except as mere objects of their actions the men in a situation to whom their program is ostensibly directed.
So how do you suggest we change this system? In your eyes, is it even possible to? We have this system run by the elite who call all of the shots. We're pretty much screwed, wouldn't you say?
No, not at all. The easiest way to change it starts with the students themselves. It's like my banking theory of education that I have outlined in my book. Teachers today essentially make deposits into the empty brains of their students, and the students sit there and soak it in, believing everything they're told is true and not even thinking to question it. The role of students among students would be to undermine the power of the oppression and serve the cause of liberation. Students should invest in their own education by asking questions and creating dialogue with the teacher who has their own unique expertise to share that will create an effective learning environment. As far as being screwed, I believe if more of us are willing to invest in our education as a whole, things can be changed, but it's going to take a movement.
A movement, huh? Don't you think you should take it a little easy on the activism, Doc? That got you into a bit of trouble earlier in your life, hasn't it?
Yes, it is actually. I was exiled from Brazil after I tried combining my love for education with some political activism. There was a poor illiterate village in northern Brazil and I was there trying to teach the adults how to read. Normal methods weren't working, so I needed to figure out a new way to connect with them, and they really needed a larger, deeper well. I helped them write a letter to their local political authorities as a way to kill two birds with one stone, so to speak.
Pedagogy in action. Got to love seeing that. Unfortunate you were exiled though.
It wasn't all that bad. It gave me the time I needed to work on and finish my book. That, and I was allowed back after 15 years, where I later became superintendent of schools in Sao Paulo.
Looks like it all worked out for you in the end. Any last words of wisdom?
It is not our role to speak to the people about our own views of the world, nor to attempt to impose that view on them, but rather to dialogue with people about their view and ours. Education should be the means by which men and women deal critically and creatively with reality and discover how to participate in the transformation of their world. Looks like it all worked out for you in the end. Any last words of wisdom?
Spoken like a gentleman. Paulo, thanks for your time, and I hope to see some changes in the education system. I'll make sure to spread your message and do my part. That's all the time we have for tonight. We'll see you next time.